This is the utility apps presentation coming to you from sunny Southern California. I am 35 miles, northwest of Los Angeles. And the presentation is brought to you via APCUG Speakers Bureau. And your group is a member of APCUG, and it's one of the most used benefits. So all these utilities are, some are free, some are paid, some are both, and they're just in random. I truly believe in backing up to the cloud. My preferred program is iDrive. I like something that is homegrown, and it's 2 valleys west of me towards the ocean. And they're always having specials, but I pay $80 a year for a gazillion amount of space that I will never use, but I trust it and it works for me. Every time I double check, everything is backed up as it's supposed to be. And I would not use an online cloud backup program unless I got back an email or some kind of message every single time I back up. And that's what this is, an email from when I first started using this program in 2018, and it says you have X number of files that need to be backed up, and X number of files worked just fine. John Kennedy says, Judy, you need to add pCloud to your presentation on utility apps. This is something that he uses. He dearly loves it. He has given a presentation on it at a Wednesday workshop. If you'd like to know more about pCloud and how secure it is, it's one of those ones that is based in Switzerland. He would be more than happy to give you a presentation. Many people use the easiest to do backup. They use the free one. They're extremely happy with that. Even more use Macrium Reflect. They swear by the free program. It is going to go up to $70 a year as of 12/31/23. And everybody at my backup workshops in March said they are going to pay for Macrium Reflect because they think it is so great. There's always the Acronis suites. Many people have been using this program for 1,000 years. Gene and Linda Barlow have been user group sponsors forever and a day. He retired from IBM and theoretically is called the father of the user group because he had started user groups when he was at IBM. And they give everybody who's a member of a user group 50% off all of the Acronis products. One of my programs that are free and pay and that I pay for is Malwarebytes. It's just a double check. If you have had Bob Gostich's security program that he puts together every year, he recommends Malwarebytes also. And back in the day, it was limited to what it worked on, and now it works on almost everything but the kitchen sink. And this is what you get. And again, you can pay for it, you get more stuff, or it's free. The virus removal is free. The rest of it are all premium stuff. This is one of my favorite programs in the whole world. I absolutely love this program. I was reading the Computer Club Florida group, Sun City Center, Florida, president's column, and Matt Batt, I had attended a presentation where he gave it at the group, and he was one of those people like JJ, that when JJ says something, I trust what he's talking about is true scoop. Well, that was the same thing with Matt. He's no longer with us now, but he wrote about Patch My PC in his president column, and I thought, you know, I don't like File Hippo, I don't like Ninite. I'm going to try this, and I absolutely love it. And Bob G now recommends this too, as do several other people who give presentations. And one of the reasons I like it is I don't deal well with black and white, and it's colorful. Red needs to be updated, green is all taken care of. perform 4 updates. It happens in the background and there's no degradation when you're using your computer. It's just really cool. And you can pay for it or not. No, I'm sorry. You wouldn't want to pay for it because that's the business, but you could set it up to do it daily, weekly, monthly, you name it. And it's one of those set it and forget it programs. I don't know if you all are using VPNs, but my preferred one is private internet access. It is in Middle America. And I have used it for 1,000 years, probably since 2015. And Jim Evans, who's again no longer with us, recommended it. And he was one of the people that I trusted. And I thought I'd be fancy one time and say I was in Germany. And I wanted to do something with my Discover card. And the gal wouldn't give me the time of day. And I would say to her, but I'm sitting here in front of my computer and I would give her my information. She didn't care. As far as she was concerned, I was in Germany. And I thought, hey, this really does work, but I didn't want it to work right then. Then I thought, well, closer to home, I'll try Canada. And one time I was wanting to know where a couple of stores were and in the valley here, and I just looked them up, and Google gave me all of the stores from the western side of Canada all the way across to the eastern side. And now I choose California, like I should have in the first place, but so much for fooling around with it. And in the Silicon Valley, I'm actually not in San Jose, but that's where it looks like I'm from. And if you're not sure about what happens when you're using a VPN, your data is encrypted and unreadable from here to there. You get a different IP address. And if that's something you're interested in, they have free ones and they have paid. This is for people that are new to the web. None of us are new to the web, but you might have somebody who is just starting out and they're not sure about what's safe, what's not safe. Cheryl Wester, who used to be one of my advisors back in the day, she was a teacher of high school kids, and she would encourage them to use the Web of Trust app. And when you go to a website, it will tell you if it is a crummy website. And this is one of those like open source where everybody has their say. And if somebody has found a URL that is never quite correct going to the website and it pops up and says you really don't want to go there, they'll report it. So anybody that uses the Web of Trust can immediately look at the rating of a website. So again, not necessarily for us, but for newbies starting their time on the web. Bitwarden, password managers. John Kennedy, again, swears by this. LastPass has had a lot of trouble lately. I have that in my presentation, but I wouldn't recommend that to anybody anymore. And when last summer, when LastPass took away one of the free things applicable to smartphones and put it in the paid version, there was a mass exodus by APCUG user group members over to Bitwarden. And every single person said it exported seamlessly. They did not have to set it up, in Bitwarden. It went right in beautifully. And the thing with user groupies is they like things that are for free. And when I guess they were upset when LastPass made something into what their $4 a year program, I don't know. It was hysterical. Bitwarden's just like everything else. Install and sync all of your devices. Boom, is all good to go instantly. Other people really like Dashlane. That's a paid program, as you can see. They all monitor the dark web. It also has a VPN. So if you're, thinking about a password manager and a VPN, this one has both. And don't forget to give your digital master password to your digital executor if they want to be able to get in and close down all your accounts. Here's LastPass. Again, I wouldn't recommend it. Like I said, for people who didn't like to have to pay for that one thing. What is it? $12 a year. BillArc. This is a very interesting program. It is, a lot of people say, things that are free. How in the world do people make their money? Well, this is for home use. I clicked on it and that's what I'm using it for. It's also for business use, and that's how the company makes their money. So it gives you everything but the kitchen sink and what you had for dinner last night and what your favorite drink is, but it's all about your computer, your software, your security, your patch status, the serial numbers for everything. So somebody says, you know, do you know the serial number of your printer? And you go, what? No, BillArc has it for you. If you're going to buy a new system, you might want to run BillArc Advisor on your old system to see exactly what you have. That app that you forgot you downloaded and all of a sudden you need it again, but you can't remember the name. Well, if it was on your old system, it's right there. It also tells you how long it has been since you have accessed things. And if you're doing tech support for someone and you ask them about some different details about their computer and they look at you with deers in the headlight eyes, run BillArc Advisor home version before you start working on their computer, and it will probably give you a lot of assistance. And again, it tells you that I had not, when I did this screenshot, I had not used this program for 491 days. So thank you very much. It does not reside on your computer, but obviously it recognized me. Tiny URL. How would you like to have that? HTTPS, Amazon, blah, 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 PSC = 1. People get long URLs like this and they get in touch with you and say, I'm clicking on it. It doesn't work. Well, they may or may not be clicking in the right place. You might have left the =1 off, or they copied and pasted it and they left off the PSC = 1 off, and of course it's not going to work. How about making a smaller one with tiny URL? I used to use Bitly. It's also free and you can pay or pay, but now for the free app, they only let you do like 10 every once in a while. Well, the other day, just for grins, because Bill James, I'm sure you've had presentations by him and you know Bill, he uses Tiny and thinks I'm silly for using Bitly. So I thought, I'm going to try Tiny URL. And I instantly, with what I was doing, I was uploading information to APCUG blogs posts. And I must have done 20 shortening instantly. And I thought to myself, gee, using my tried and true Bitly, I couldn't have done that. So I converted over to what Bill said I should have been using in the first place. I'm a fan of CCleaner. There's Glary Utilities, there's System Mechanic by Iolo, but I prefer CCleaner. I have been using it forever and a day. It is one of the 2 programs that I pay for. Pay for Malwarebytes and I pay for CCleaner. And if you want to keep your computer from being sluggish and the boot time taking forever to turn your computer on, and a lot of other things that it does for free, then this is a good program to have. At my April meeting, we had a CCleaner free versus Iolo System Mechanic. The guy who uses System Mechanic has used it for years. He thinks it's the greatest thing that came down the pike. Used to be a huge sponsor of my Southwest Technology Conference in San Diego. I tried it. It jammed at my machine every time. So I thought, so much for being a sponsor. I'm still going to use CCleaner. So the gentleman that did it showed the free part of it, and we went through every single thing that you can do with the free CCleaner. And there's a ton and a half of things that you can do. And you can bounce that off, whether you need to spend the $30 a year for the professional version. But the guy who was using the free program, we got down to your registry and cleaning it. And so many people say, oh, don't ever clean your registry. Well, I do with CCleaner because it makes a backup. And if something happens, I can always go back. And he had a friend that desperately needed to clean his registry, but he was afraid to, he didn't want to. And Richard said, I cannot wait till the meeting is over so I can call him and tell him, you know, you use CCleaner, because Richard never had done anything other than the basic automatic cleaning. So you might want to think about having something like that for a meeting. Huey Poplock lives and breathes Evernote. And when I used it, I called it my yellow Post-it program. Back in the day when we had the huge monitors at work, I would put my notes on Post-its and put them all the way around the outside of my monitor. And that's what this reminded me of. And it was absolutely fantastic, wonderful to use. It still is. July 2020 meeting. As I would go through the internet and see the things that I want to feature possibly at a meeting as I'm out and about, you know, just going here and there on websites, I would create an Evernote and I would, of course, title it June 2020 meeting, and then I would send the information over to it. Easy peasy, worked really well for me, and life went on. Along comes Edge with their collections feature, and I no longer use Evernote. Remember, Huey just absolutely loves it. I'm just using this now because I just merely click on my collections and I start a new one, or I have to go down to, I'm adding to another collection, and I click on the plus sign and boom, the URL is in there. And here's 11 items that I haven't had time to look at. So that's by the way, you're supposed to look at this. And the same thing, there was the information for my September meeting. Social media for seniors, I had 4 items. I wanted to check and make sure I had included those in that presentation. I do a declutter and spring cleaning presentation. That was, there's websites in there. And this to me is just more quicker and it works faster and easier for me. I swear by Grammarly. I think everybody should be using Grammarly, and it helps make our messages and documents and posts, everything mistake-free, and it will give you a better word. If you've used the same word 13 times in whatever you're writing, you will get ideas that other words that you can use that just give the same impact, but it's a different word instead of the one that you keep using. I have it on Word. It pops up on the browsers, and they're checking it on LinkedIn and any place else, mostly where you're on the web. And I get notices all the time that say, I use 99% more unique words than anybody. That's because I use so many tech words. You know, it's not that I'm a fantastic writer. I am a better writer now that I use this than I ever was before. But I get that pop-up and I just chuckle because like I said, I'm using tech words. Nextdoor. People kind of laugh at Nextdoor. It's a private social network for your neighborhood, but it's one way to know what is going on in your area. And some of the things, other than the lost dogs and lost cats and stuff, you really need to know about. So this is one that popped up, and as I look out my window here in my family room, I look across the canyon, and there's the neighborhood Canyon Crest that this poster was talking about. This guy came to the door and could I talk to the owner of the house? Well, she said, of course, she was the owner of the house, but apparently he really wanted to talk to a man. And so she took down his information in her mind, and then her doorbell camera took a picture of him. By the time he got from one side of the canyon to the other side, I opened the door and I looked at him and I said, oh, your tennis shoes are black. And he laughed and said, I know. I said, yeah. I said, the lady across the canyon here put it out on Nextdoor, so we all knew to expect you. And he chuckled it, and I said, and you're selling solar, and I'm not interested. Thank you for stopping by. And off he went. So he could have been a bad guy for all we know, but all he was doing was selling solar. PayPal. I love PayPal. Anything that I shop online, I pay with PayPal. I detest giving out any credit card information to places online, and so I use PayPal. And we all know, don't use your debit card to pay for anything. And the one thing is, if you have credit cards that you have in various apps, please take a look and make sure that you don't have your B of A card, your Citi card, your whatever kind of cards you have. You have a multitude of charge cards, credit cards listed there. Make sure that you remove every single one except the one you are using. This goes to one of my credit cards where I get money back. So as soon as I buy something on PayPal, I just go to that credit card, transfer the money from my checking account, no interest paid, but I've got a few pennies in that account that I'm going to be able to use elsewhere. The same thing with Amazon. I have one of their Chase cards, and I get upwards of $125 one time that it's free money as far as I'm concerned, that I can use for various and sundry things on Amazon that I want to, only because they also keep track of that. And every time I buy something on Amazon, I just go to the Chase account and pay it off immediately. So again, no interest, just my little workaround there. And it'll pop up and say, hi, Judy, we recognize you on this computer, because the only place I ever shop is using my computer right here. Venmo. Venmo is part of PayPal now. And it links, bank or your debit card if you want to. And my youngest daughter and her husband and their dog were out on a walk. They parked their car quite a ways away from a park, and they walked a mile down, drank all their water on the way back. Dog's water was all gone, and they came upon these two little girls who had set up a lemonade stand. And I mean, they said, would you like some lemonade and some water for your dog? The kids said, well, yeah, but we don't have any money. They were upper elementary school kids, and they turned around to my daughter and said, do you do Venmo? I about died. I said, you have got to be kidding. And she said, no, we do. And we got our lemonade, and Coco got a little bit more water, and they only had like a block to go to their car. But I thought, what a hoot. These little kids at their lemonade stand. 3% fee, funded with a Venmo balance, a bank account, or a credit card, debit card. These are all of the apps that Bill James uses. I don't think that man ever has any money in his wallet, because these are the apps that he uses when he's out and about or buying things at home. And with Samsung Pay, he has 2 Samsung laptops and, of course, the phone. But if you pay with them, you get a discount on, he got a discount on both of his laptops. So think about things like that. Recuva. Oh, Lord. I deleted things I shouldn't. All of a sudden, it was in my recycle bin, and I thought I checked my recycle bin to make sure that there wasn't anything in there by mistake, and oops, it's gone. Recuva can maybe help you get your document or whatever it is back. It's better than having to think about, oh my gosh, I have to create a 15-page document over again or whatever. So check it out. Again, it's free, or you can pay for it. It's because it's included in the Pro version. And do you need virtual hard drive support? Do you need automatic data updates? Do you need premium support? $20. I don't really, except for, the advanced file recovery, I'm not really interested in those other 3 bullet points. Revo uninstaller. You uninstalled something using the Windows uninstall program that has been around for 1,000 years, probably has never been updated since the beginning of time, and it left something. This happened back in the day when everybody had a BlackBerry, and where my youngest daughter worked. My oldest daughter's an AP history teacher, but my youngest one works out in the business world, and everybody had a BlackBerry. Then they got rid of their BlackBerries. So she said, Mom, could you just, next time you're over, will you delete the BlackBerry app for me? I said, sure, Stacy. You know, like she couldn't do it herself, but as a good mom, I said, of course. And I did. And she called me the next morning and she said, Mom, I just turned on my computer and it wants to know where the BlackBerry stuff is. And I said, really? Oh, how funny is that? She said, what happened? And I honestly didn't know. I said, I went to uninstall and uninstalled it. That was fine. And so I did some research and I decided I would use Revo uninstaller just for grins to make sure that it was all gone. And I did, and it went away. So if that happens to you with the Windows uninstaller, do that. Or you can use CCleaner's uninstall program, which works just fine also. And probably both programs work much better than Windows uninstaller. AnyDesk, again, one of Free John Kennedy's favorite programs in the whole world. He uses it with the students after class if they need one-on-one help. And that to me is amazing, that it has to be so super simple that somebody has just learned something in one of his tech classes and they get home and they say, you know, could you do an AnyDesk with me? Well, if all you have to do is download a little app and click on the link when he sends it, what could be more simple? You can use it to troubleshoot a friend or relative's computer. And once you both get out of the program, there is no way for you to get back into their computer in any way, shape, or form. And he used to be a TeamViewer fan, but so many people were getting zinged by TeamViewer that saying, you're using it so much, you must be doing it for, it must be your business. And he would go around and around with them saying, no, he's teaching classes to the user group members, and no, he does not get paid for it. He is a volunteer. And that happened one too many times, and he decided to use AnyDesk, and he said, I like it better than TeamViewer anyway. So if that's something you might have to do once in a while, you might want to think about using AnyDesk. Bill James and I, we use Quick Assist. We're trying to figure out how to do something or want one of the other person to check something. It's built in with Windows 10 and 11. And again, you're gonna only do this kind of stuff if you trust the other person. And the same thing with you. If Bill didn't trust me that I wasn't going to do anything bad, he wouldn't do this with me. So again, the word is trust. And access is given with a 6-digit number. When we'll be talking on the phone, and we'll do, hey, let's do a Quick Assist right now. And we'll both edit. So the way we give the Quick Assist a 6-digit number, who either the helper or their helpee, is we just tell it over the phone and then we hang up. But you can send an email, you can send a text, whatever with that number. And I love it. Quick Assist. It used to say, give assistance or get assistance. Well, apparently Microsoft is being more folksy now. So it's get help or help someone. And the person giving the help needs to sign in with their Microsoft account. So think about that. If you don't right off the bat know what your Microsoft account password is, look it up. And if you had a password manager, you wouldn't have to look it up. It would just be boom right there when you needed it. And then you pass on the code. If you haven't tried it, find somebody to play with on this. It is way cool. Bob G says, you know, you need to do custom installs. Judy Taylour says the same thing. People look at me and say, oh, I couldn't do a custom install. I just don't know that much about it. Well, you know, you just have to be able to read and decide if that is something you want or not. And if you don't want it, you uncheck the box. People are too fast, don't want to take time to do that. So Bob uses unchecking. It's in his security presentation, and it automatically unchecks the boxes for you. So if you don't want to take the time to do the custom install yourself and uncheck boxes, boom. And oftentimes when you are downloading an app, you get extra things that you don't want. And the people who the stuff that you don't want, it belongs to them, they get a few pennies from the app creator of the one that you really wanted. So that's why all those boxes for other apps are checked. Well, now if you don't uncheck them, you have to go into uninstall and take the time to uninstall them. Be proactive. This is it. This is simple as it is. Boom, it's up and running, good to go. Everybody should have VLC Media Player. If you watch videos, you watch your Zoom videos afterwards. This is the super simple, easiest thing in the whole free world to use. It works on everything like it says, every file format under the sun. Those are their words, and I totally agree with them. And if you will look at the above their logo, that's what you see. This is from a September 22 Senior Center Advisory Council meeting, and there's the video. And I don't have to look at anything. I just immediately zero in on that click. It is up and running. And every time I do this, I say, if any of you have favorite apps, please send it to me and I'll add it to my presentation. I don't get many takers because I don't know why. If somebody offered that to me, I certainly would take advantage of having my favorite app in a presentation. But if you have a favorite app, either send it to JJ and JJ can forward it to me and include a few words on why you like it. So when I gave this to the Sarasota group earlier in the year, Drew King said, you must include this app. And I said, send me the information and I will. And he said, it's a complete hardware specification for the Android. Detailed information about your smartphone covers all of those bullet points. Thank you for sharing, Drew. There's probably a lot of people out there that would like to know about this. I have an iPhone, so this is way cool. And then he talked about more about it in detail. Stuff words that a governor, I don't know what that is, but I know what everything else is. And so again, if you have an app you like, let me know. Terry Harvey, Color Note. She's with the Wisconsin All Users Computer Club, and she is the go-to lady at WAC. And she says, I cannot live without Color Note. Okay. She has her meds, Christmas gift ideas, you name it, exact name of plants. She says all her passwords, encrypted, supplies she needs for the picnic, the Christmas party, you name it. Her life is in this app for Android. And it syncs with her computer, phone, and all her tablets. And as far as she's concerned, this is something that everybody with an Android should be using. Okay. Here's something new from Huey. It's everything. We have the search, microscope down here. We can, click on that and search with the Windows search. He says, you want to try everything. That's the name of it. And he said, it's instant. And I have seen this demoed, and yes, it is instant. JJ uses this. And you can search the file content, monitors your file systems for changes. And again, the search results, you blink your eyes and there it is. You don't get well, here, maybe you need to go into File Explorer and you might find it there better than, clicking on the search box next to Start. And, like I said, he just thinks it's fantastic. And the rest of this is all my resources on where I got everything I talked about, in case you want to look it up.